Fill it up. Fill it up. Fill it up. We gotta let this room fill up. Yo, guys, we gotta let this room fill up in here because this one right here, this one of them ones, man. This one of them ones. This a learning experience. Welcome to the culture. Welcome to the culture. I'm happy that you're here, but I gotta let this room fill up because I don't want anybody to really miss it. I don't want anybody to really miss it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I told y'all told y'all we just got information over here. Told y'all I'm a baby of the culture. I told y'all. I've been telling y'all I'm a baby of the culture. I just am. I just, from wherever I was, whatever I was doing, as I was growing up, I just was hearing things and I was a fan. I'm not saying I was out there trying to rap. I ain't out there saying I was trying to break. I wasn't out there trying to do, nothing but just be me. I wasn't out there trying to do anything other than be me. And I know what I heard. I know what I liked. I always wonder why I like different genres of music. I always wonder why I can listen to my uncle's music. I always wonder why I can listen to my mom's music. I always just wonder why I can listen to my grandmom's music and get the same exact feel. I love that James Brown I used to hear when I used to come home from school. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. What's going on, everybody? Okay, my peoples is in the building. Let's see. Roll call. China back, please. China Black. You gonna love this. Woo. Roll call. Royalties in the building. Royalty. You're gonna love this. I need y'all to hit that like button. We need some people to get up in here. Some more, of course, y'all know some more powerful information. Let's let the baby rock out for a minute real quick, and let's see if this room fills up a little bit. I want it to fill up a little bit because I don't want people to get caught behind and have to catch up, Oh, okay. Well, you missed that one, child. You wasn't here, right? Yeah, I don't think I saw you here earlier. I didn't see you here earlier. That was just a quick little snack. That was a little snack. I was just getting ready for this one. That was just a quick little snack. That's why I was a little, melancholy, as they would call it. It was a little melancholy because we was getting prepared for this one. Just to it seems like like I said, everything happens for a reason. I don't know why this stuff crossed our desk, but when it did, we did what this platform would normally do. We settle the score. We don't keep receipts. We keep the score. And we make sure, everything is everything. So let's let the baby rock out for a minute. Let's see if we can get some more people in here before I blast off. Because I'm definitely going to blast off. Okay. Let's let the baby rock out for a minute. Roll call, roll call. Who's in the building? You heard that? You knew the party was on. You heard that in the party. You heard that in the party. You knew it was popping. When you heard that in the party, you knew it was popping. Yo, you knew it was on. Roll call. Who else is in the building? Check in. Let's do a little roll call. Who else is in the building? Hit the like button, tap in. Who else is in here? Let's see. Who is that? Is that True Bleed? Who is that? What's going on, bro? What's up with you? Fam? Roll call. That's the real Percy. Okay. The real Percy. What's popping? What's popping, Percy? Let's get it. Let's let the baby rock out. Percy tapping in because we about to blast off. Y'all know I got some information. Music. Roll call, tap in. We're about to blast off in a few minutes. From Madison Project in the South Bronx. You will love this, Percy. You will love this. You will love it. You will love it. I'm the one man on the ice pond. I've never been looking out. These MCs looking out. Tap in. Letting the room fill up a little bit before we blast off. We're going to put the top rate. We're going to show you exactly what we talked about. Check this out. We're going to put it right up on the screen. Watch this. We'll put it right up on the screen. I gotta rescue all my South Bronx SBA. I feel like that's what I feel like right now. I gotta rescue all my South Bronx FBA. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I feel like it's a rescue mission. That's what I'm SEAL Team 6. I'm the one-man army ace song. I never been tooken out. I keep MCs looking out. Listen, that's what I'm feeling like right now. Let's let this room fill up because I want to blast off. I don't want people having to play catch up, getting here asking a whole lot of questions because this is pretty good. It's eye-opening. Everybody gonna say, oh, that's what happened. That's what had happened, huh? So let's let the baby rock out for a minute. And oh, that's okay, Percy. Okay, Percy. Paul Brawl in the building, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. It's Paul Brawl. Paul Brawl, I want you to take your gloves off, bro. Paul Brawl is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Roll call. Paul Brawl is in the building, okay? Gloves off, Paul Brawl. We're going to blast off in a minute. We just need a couple of more people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Paul Brawl in the building. Like, listen, man, those that are not in here, they just gonna have to catch up. Okay. They just gonna have to catch up. Yo, listen, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. Y'all already know I'm your host, the Ref. Well, I keep you up to score in everything sports, hip hop, and hot topics. And we got another hot topic today. As y'all can see on the board, okay, Biggs came through here with Biggs at. DJ Biggs came through here last night and said that, yo, they was over on another platform. They asked somebody a question about something we popped off over here. He couldn't answer. He said, maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't. That's start talking that Scooby-Doo shit. I don't know. That Scooby-Doo shit. And that's what it is. Because you can't answer it. All right? So, let's be clear on a few things. We never talked about who invented words. Okay? We're not going out here to see any linguists. Okay? We don't need to go out here and see anybody else to tell us about our history. We can document our own history because we lived it. We got family. We can go to our elders. We can ask our elders questions. We can do a lot of things before we have to turn to somebody else that's a guest and have to try to tell us about our culture. Now, we're not having that unapologetically. Okay? We're not apologizing about a damn thing. You ain't supposed to have your nose in our business. All right? So, you know, you put your nose in our business, it gets chopped off. Period. We're supposed to have zero tolerance for that, just like any other culture would. You're not going to Italy and trying to tell them how to do pasta. You're not going to China and try to tell them how to do new rice. Okay? So I don't expect nobody to come over here try to tell us how to fry no damn chicken. Okay? I don't expect nobody to do it. Period. Point blank. There you roll call. Roll call. Keem's in the building. That's what I'm talking about. We about to blast off. We about to blast off. So listen, so check it, right? We don't go into other people's cultures and try to tell them, things about their history, which is disrespectful, in my opinion. So highly disrespectful. So we told y'all about the N-word. Okay, we told y'all about that over here. We told y'all where it comes from. Y'all not new to this. We told y'all that it's been an identifying marker the whole entire time. People have been misusing it. But we also told y'all that this breakdancing, we told y'all that it's not what they really call hip hop. It's actually electro. And believe it or not, this is what's so beautiful about this information, because it's still all there. It's like you would have to go back and rewrite everything in order to make this nonsense out here believable. That's out here today in 2026. So I got something for y'all. Okay, we're gonna start right here with this. Right, we came out the gate and told y'all, boom. We said, man, Parish. Right. This is an electro group. Okay. This is the group that came out with an album called Boogie Down Bronx. Okay. We told y'all that this is a group that came out with an album called Boogie Down Bronx. Okay. Recorded in 1982, released in 1983. Okay, so they've been around for a long time. But guess what? Their mentors was around in the 70s. I need everybody to pay attention closely, okay? If everybody can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me speaking, put a 1 in the chat for me, please, just to confirm microphones and everything's working. If everybody can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure that everything's copacetic. All right, there it is. Okay, so this group had mentors as well. This was one of the pioneering electro groups in America. Okay, but they also had mentors themselves, because they were the first ones to pioneer it here, but they weren't the first ones to actually pioneer it overall. Okay, but they had a very large impact on something in our transition of our evolution, simply because other cultures started getting involved. This wasn't something that we would have done. Okay, when I say we, I mean FBA, because we know what this looks like right here. Okay, this is going to be so beautiful, y'all. Y'all going to love this one because it's so enlightening. It's so enlightening. So these gentlemen right here, okay, they made a song called The Boogie Down Bronx, even though Man Parish is from Brooklyn. He is from Brooklyn, and he made a album called The Boogie Down Bronx. Let's move right along. Oh, by the way, he is openly gay. Okay, that's neither here nor there, but he does live a certain type of lifestyle. Okay, and that's his business. All right. It ain't, it doesn't make me one way or the other, because it's not me. Okay, so he does what he do, and I do what I do. Of course, he came out on Sugar Scoop. Okay, he came out on Sugar Scoop, and this was the album for The Boogie Down Bronx by Man Parish, as you can see. And there was a lot that went on with this, where he was, he never received any money from this. Neither did the brother that they went downstairs to go get, that was downstairs on the steps. Okay, the brother that was downstairs on the steps, they never that he never received any money from it, to the point it was so bad where they didn't even know if John Carter, which was the brother that rapped on the Boogie Down Bronx, they didn't even know if he was listed as a writer on the album cover. They didn't even know if his name was listed. Of course, it was Man Parrish and Freeze Force, but they did not know if John Carter was in the credits as receiving any credit for being a writer and a participant on the album. His voice he's the main guy. But nevertheless, they said the man was so damn depressed that he lost his voice. Okay, he lost his voice, and probably lost a lot of other things too that we didn't know about. Moving right along. So, if you look right here, you can see where it tells you that the Boogie Down Bronx was recorded primarily in 1984, electro hip hop classic by Man Parrish, featuring Freeze Force, known for its pioneering sound, vocoder vocals, and iconic status in early hip hop. Sampled by acts like Nucleus. Another important release is Nice and Smooth's 1997 promo maxi single Boogie Down Bronx. And its connection, its BK connection, a significant track in hip hop history. So as you can see, right, we can think of a few other things like T-Pain. We could think of things like Rogers and Zapp. They kind of like got into that a little bit. You could just see when the technology started growing, so did the artists, I should say. I would say the artists. But check this out. So y'all remember Nucleus, they had to jam on it. And if y'all remember what people was doing to that, right? Y'all all know that they was basically breakdancing songs. Y'all remember that? They were basically breakdancing songs. So what I came here to do today is I came here to free James Brown. I came here to free James Brown from the nonsense. James Brown shouldn't be connected to this just because he made break beats and connecting the break dancing to James Brown. James Brown music had people going off. James Brown's music didn't have people breakdancing. They coined it breakdancing just because it was breaks in James Brown's music, but I'm freeing James Brown today. We can't have this nonsense. Nucleus, Jam on It, and a few other things that I'm going to save for a few minutes. In a few minutes, you'll see in a few minutes. Well, they had a fan of this type of music. They had a fan of this type of music, and the fan of this type of music was Africa Bambaataa. Africa Bambaataa was a fan of this electro music. You have information all over the planet about how much he loved this type of music. He loves electro music to the point where he's considered an electro DJ. He's an electro DJ. His biggest project is electro. Okay? His biggest project to this day, it is electro. Okay? It is absolutely electro. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. There's no two ways about it. Right? Africa Bambaata's classic 1982 electric funk Planet Rock heavily sampled the melodies from Kraftwerk's iconic 1977 song Trans Europe Express, blending it with rhythms from Kraftwerk's Numbers and other sounds to create a pioneering hit for hip hop and electronic music. While initially a risk, the sampling led to a famous collaborations and a out-of-court settlement with Kraftwerk, cementing Planet Rock as, hold on, let me get that out of the way. Hold on, cementing, hold on one second. Cementing Planet Rock as a landmark track in modern music. Now, I need y'all to understand something. Kraftwerk felt some kind of way about him using their music because of out-of-court settlement with Kraftwerk. We would have never heard Planet Rock if this settlement didn't take place. Now, I need y'all to let that settle in for a minute. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second. There was an out-of-court settlement with Kraftwerk because he used their material, which I didn't even know. So this is jacking for beats before Ice Cube. This was biting before biting. This is biting before biting, y'all. So here we have one Planet Rock, which is not even his creation. Once again, we turn over another stone to find out that somebody didn't create something themselves. So now we have, let me see. We want to make sure everything is copacetic, okay? Planet Rock, don't stop. Rock to the planet rock. Don't stop. Rock to the planet rock. Don't stop. That's Kraftwerk. So if not for an out-of-court settlement with Kraftwerk, cementing Planet Rock as a landmark track in modern music, we may have never heard it if they didn't reach that deal. So we might have not even ever gotten there. So we mind you, the song is from 1977. 1977. So we see where we're moving to this. So if we got this type of music and this type of DJ that's going on, right? And we got these break dancers, right? And we have these break dancers. Looky and looky cookie. Look, here we end up having this thing called breakdancing. We end up having this thing called breakdancing, right? Breakdancing is what they called it breakdancing, which is not breakdancing. It is a freestyle type of dancing to music that is electro, that is not on beat. It's not on beat at all. It's not on beat. So what you have here is you have a problem. We have a problem, Houston. We have a problem because this stuff is connected to the godfather of soul. And it was always something that rubbed me wrong about this. It was always something that just didn't sit right with me. Because James Brown was about getting on the good foot, and you were supposed to be on beat, which we clearly saw what Blackjack was doing in the park to his dance. We clearly know what he was doing. It didn't look like this. There was something different about this. So after the breakdancing would take place at any party, we would go back to the regular dancing. We would go back to the soul, right? We would go back to the soul. So in the middle of all that, it's the electro would come out. So I just we're not done, ladies and gentlemen. We're not done. Okay. I just want y'all to pay attention to something. Because we blasting off. We're about to blast off. So I want y'all to check this out for a minute. Something I felt was very interesting, right? Y'all know we showed y'all yesterday about how who was the first guest at the party and so on and so forth. We showed y'all all that. You know what I mean? Listen, it is what it is. You know, there was people at the party. There was people at the party that were our first guests, and they learned soul. So I came across something very interesting. Okay. Very interesting. And I thought that you guys might want to see this. And not only want to see this, you guys might want to, if possible, try to catch something that I missed. Try to catch something I missed because I found a lot in here. Okay. So here we go. It's on.
Song that influenced the production of Planet Rock. Good morning, everyone. I want to set up the background of Planet Rock. I've just done a film. I've directed a film on my band Rockers Revenge, and there was a connection between Rockers Revenge and the Planet Rock record. So this sort of sets up the making of Planet Rock pretty well. And the guys you're going to be seeing talking about it are two of the members of Rockers Revenge who worked at a record shop where I first heard a song that influenced the production of Planet Rock. So we could watch this and then, yeah.
An idea to do something with Trans Europe Express.
Ben Bada and I made the 8-track demo and I played it for Arthur. He thought it was cool.
So I heard the demo that they had done and I thought, yeah, it's okay, but something missing. And, you know, as I always would do, I'd go to Music Factory just to listen and get inspired.
You'd be in the store for hours, man, listening to what we was playing. We would play so many different things and you'd be like, yo, what's that? What's that?
And I'm listening, and then this record comes on. And I was like, what the fuck record was that? And he was
That's
like,
the numbers.
yo, bro, it's Numbers by Kraftwerk, you know, amazing.
This is the numbers. That's the numbers I was telling y'all about. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. That's the song I was telling y'all that I would ask my boys, like when the teacher would be like, yo, y'all bring something to school. I was like, yo, bring that record, man, that numbers joint. So that's the one I was telling y'all about. Now pay attention, listen closely, y'all. This is dope. This is so dope.
It was my group. And I put it on, he was like, oh yeah.
This is what I was looking for without knowing it. I've never heard a beat like that, the sound, everything. I'm like, God, that beat is unbelievable.
He said, I'm gonna go in the studio.
1, 2. Uno, dos.
We'll do this tonight with some of my guys. He said, you want to come? The first time I met African Bambaataa and Pow Wow and Mr. Big, they were all young kids. And I'm looking at them, and they're wilding out in the studio.
What the hell is going on here? Come on, tell me something. But come on, Mr. Engineer, get it right, get it right. Come on, Mr. Engineer, get it right, get it right. Because if you don't, and if you don't.
They're standing on top of the piano, they're banging on the drums, and I'm like, yo, Arthur, who are these kids? He said, oh, these are the kids that's gonna rap on this thing. I said, oh, you got control of these dudes. After that, Planet Rock came out and you was killing.
Yeah, just hit me. Just hit me.
Planet Rock blew up instantly. That was my huge break.
But the cool thing about Planet Rock was that, you know, it was a very futuristic sounding. It sounded like it was tomorrow.
Okay, so there's a little background on the record. We went into a studio called Intergalactic Studio. It had a Neve board, which, you know, was a great board, Rupert Neve, a UK board. And it had a lot to do with the sound of the record because it had great EQs, the Neve EQs. Which one? I'm gonna run that. So we had Neve EQs there. And the thing about, you have to envision in 1982 technology, we thought we were on the cutting edge of technology, and people think that when we made that record it was cutting edge technology, but literally we had very little technology. I mean, we had a Fairlight, which is this thing, and that cost like $250,000, but the sample rate on it was like maybe 1/1,000,000th of what's on your phone. So literally it was so expensive. It was made in Australia. It was, and we didn't really use it much. We used it for the orchestra hit, and we used it for an explosion, and that was it. But I mean, the orchestra hit became pretty iconic, so it was sort of one of the trademarks of the record. Then we had a Prophet 5, which we did the strings with the Prophet 5. Everything was played live too. Nothing was sequenced. So John Roby, it was the first night I had ever met him, and he played all the keyboards. So we did strings and sound effects, and then we had the Micro Moog, which was the bass sound. Then we had one delay unit. I mean, to think about it now, it was crazy, but the delay unit is how we got the sound on Africa Bambaataa when he goes Party People. It sounds like a vocoder, but it wasn't. It was a tight slap on the PCM 4041. Now, of course, the last thing was obviously the most important thing, was the Roland 808. So the Roland 808 composer, we didn't have a drum machine, and we knew this track needed a drum machine. I had done all the other records I had done was all live music and drummers. And we decided we needed a drum machine. No, the studio didn't have one. So basically we went on the Village Voice looking for a guy with a drum machine, which we found, and it was man with a drum machine. And I called him up. He said, oh, I have a Roland 808. So I went to Manny's to check it out, heard the sounds, and said, well, that'll work. He brought it in, and me and Bambaataa did the beats, and he inputted them into the 808. And we recorded it, very quickly. And the guy left, and he wouldn't take a check because he didn't trust Tom with his Tommy Boy check. So he got paid in cash, and we never knew his details. So he totally missed out on anything to do with Planet Rock and he got paid $25 for the session. But then, we tried to find him. His name was Joe. So for years we tried to find him. We never could find him. So it was the studio was Intergalactic, which was made famous by the Beastie Boys record Intergalactic. They used to hang out there and work there. And as I said, it had a Neve board. The only problem with it was 8 stories up and no elevator. So we had to carry all the equipment up and everything. And we went in. It was a nighttime session because we did a lockout. We had 8 hours, like starting at around 8 o'clock at night through the night. And excuse me, my wife has great timing. We you know, we went in and we were experimenting really. As it said, Tom and Bam had the idea of using Trans Europe Express, but I thought I didn't really like the groove that they had come up with. So when I heard Numbers, I thought, well, we put those two together and that'll work. And when we went in and we cut the track, the first night we cut the track, the rappers were there and they were like, they hated it. They literally hated it. They didn't know what to do with it because they had expected the record I had done previous for Tommy Boy was Jazzy Sensation, which was a slow groove and R&B thing, and they felt comfortable with that.
Are y'all catching this? Shout out to roll call, the Mighty Hebrews in the building. Yo, listen, did y'all catch that? I need y'all to pay close attention. This is very important. This is a transition is taking place. A transition is taking place. Listen what he said. Listen what he said.
They hated it. They literally, and that'll work. And when we went in and we cut the track, the first night we cut the track, the rappers were there and they were like, they hated it. They loved the track. The rappers were there and they were like, they hated it. They loved the track. The rappers were there and they were like, they hated it. They lit the track. The rappers were there and they were like, they hated it. They literally hated it.
The rappers that was there hated what was taking place. The rappers that was there hated what was taking place. Watch this.
They didn't know what to do with it because they had expected.
They didn't know what to do with it.
They hated it. They literally hated it. They didn't know what to do with it because they hated it. They literally hated it. They didn't know what to do with it. And they were like, they hated it. They literally hated it. They didn't know what to do with it because they had expected the record I had done previous for Tommy Boy was Jazzy Sensation, which was a slow groove and R&B thing. And previous for Tommy Boy was Jazzy Sensation, which was a slow groove and R&B thing. And previous for Tommy Boy was Jazzy Sensation, which was a slow groove and R&B thing. And previous for Tommy Boy was Jazzy Sensation, which was a slow groove and R&B.
We have clear separation. If everybody's paying attention, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're paying attention. Roll call, the Mighty Hebrews in the building. Yo, listen. The rappers didn't know what to do with it. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are alert and paying attention. There, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We are seeing a clear separation on what's going on. The rappers are being introduced to this electro shit. And they don't know what to do with it because guess what? It wasn't meant to be having rappers on that. It wasn't meant to have rappers over top of that type of music. Check it out.
Thing and they felt comfortable with that.
To rock the house with the greatest of these, the masters I'm blessed and Mr. Free. So come on, y'all, let's go to work.
See what that's soul. That's the culture, not Trans Europe Express. The culture is rhythm and blues, just like he just told you. They were used to the rhythm and blues. And they're trying to take them to Trans Europe Express. Let's go.
The tempo on Planet Rock was like 128, and it's sort of a halftime thing. But you know, the rappers didn't know how to sit in the beat, so a halftime thing. But you know, the rappers didn't know how to sit in the beat, so sort of a halftime thing. But you know, the rappers didn't know how to sit in the beat, so and it's sort of a halftime thing. But you know, the rappers didn't know how to sit in the beat, so Globe, who was a guy who really wrote all the raps, he went back in and he had to rewrite the rap. And the guys literally they told me years later that I did a movie called 808, and they're interviewed in it. And they were like, you know, we thought we'd never do another record. We thought that it wasn't going to happen. And yeah, but they came back in. But the interesting thing is with Planet Rock, all the music we cut the music for Planet Rock. And after we did the Trans-Europe Express melody, we knew that we'd probably get in trouble with Kraftwerk. So I had John Roby write another melody. We knew that we'd probably get in trouble with Kraftwerk. So I had John Roby Express melody. We knew that we'd probably get in trouble with Kraftwerk. So I had Trans-Europe Express melody. We knew that we'd probably get in trouble with Kraftwerk. So I had John Roby write another melody, which became the melody for Play at Your Own Risk. And we did all this other music that, you know, we were doing like clavinets and all, like, and piano. So we did like all these other elements that weren't used for Planet Rock. So 6 months later, we went back in and I did an instrumental with all the other music. And by that time, Planet Rock was a big hit. And I took it to Jelly Bean and he played the instrumental with all this new music and people went literally nuts. So we called some guys, my friends from Boston, who were the Energetics group, and they came down and we did a vocal, and that became Play at Your Own Risk. So here's the track sheet with my scrawling. It looks, I can't, you know, but still have the track sheet. And Stanley, you want to play some of the music? I'll play a bit of Planet Rock now. And I usually do this, but it's different programs. So.
Y'all losing your mind right now. I know y'all losing y'all mind right now. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're losing your mind right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're losing your mind right now. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. When I say crazy, this is absolutely crazy because this is not even original work. This is not even original work. What you thought you was doing, whatever it was to, is not even original work.
Just get on down and hit me. That body's getting so funky and hit me. Yeah, it's time to chase your dreams about the seats. Make your body sway, socialize. Get down. Let your soul lead the way. Shake it now. Go, ladies. Is this a living dream? Love, life, live. Come play the game. Our world is free. Do it to one but scream. We know a place where the nights are hot. It is.
Check this out. If you've seen it before, right? Watch this though. A lot of people have seen this, but they never made the separation of music. This ain't hip hop. This ain't hip hop. This is a clear transition taking place from what we known as rhythm and blues and the thing, James Brown and all of that. They moving completely away from that. Completely. They're moving. This is the point where what we knew as going off from the Black Spades and all of that to moving into something else. This stuff is still here today that they think that they're doing it. Check it out. Watch this, y'all. Watch this.
The house of folk, females and males. Folks done it all. For the disco, the DJ plays your favorite blast. Takes you back to the past. Music's magic. Pump, pump, bump, get bump with some blast. Then you let your body. You got the body rock and pop. House, house. Everybody just rock it, don't stop it. You gotta rock and don't stop. Keep taking it, talking, working all around the
Everybody keep rocking. The Soul Sonic Force, Mr. Big Power, and MC Glow, we emphasize the show. We got ego. Make this your night, just live it right in my day. As the people say, live it up. Shucks. For work or play, our world is free. Be what you be. This is me. You're in a place where the nights are hot, when nature's children dance and say the chant on this mother earth. With this I rock, the time has come and what my soul. So you really got soul. Are you ready? Pump, 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 get bump. Now let's go. House. Everybody just rock it, don't stop it. You gotta rock it, don't stop it. Keep taking it, cocking, working all around the clock. Everybody rocking and cocking and shocking and rocking. Everybody say rocking, don't stop it. Well, hit me, Mr. Big.
Take the bass out. Yeah,
The Soul Sonic Force.
When
Yo.
choosing earbuds, you face a fundamental trade-off. You either go with traditional in-ear buds that seal.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something, right? You're looking at the clear transition from what we knew in the James Brown into this electro stuff, right? This is clearly electro music. Clearly. Right? This is a full-fledged transition to the point where the rappers didn't even know what to do with the shit. Right? Yo, check it out. Watch this, yo.
take the drums out.
You gotta rock and see poppin', cause in the century.
So, I mean, those are elements of it. The thing is, giving a master class on that track, it was so intuitive how we did it. You couldn't really go back and go. I mean, we programmed the drums, and then John Roby played everything to the drum beat. The guys came in, did the rap, and that was it. You know, there were no secrets to it. We were just creating something new. And when we did it, I felt like we had done something really special. But I had the feeling about that actually before the rap was on, and I'll show you why. You want to?
Here we go. Now check it out, right? He felt something special before the rap came on. So this was a whole different, this was like an electro party going on. First of all, they jacked Kraftwerk. Okay? They jacked them. They jacked their music. And before the streets even come or the culture even comes, they had already felt like they had done something special. Which means that, as Man Paris told you, that they don't even need these people to make the music anymore, really. They can use, Man Paris said that he has different albums out with black girl voices on it when it's really him. Like COD is him and that guy Raul. So you don't even need them there. You just put the stuff in the system and it does what it does. That's electro. That's electro. If he would have had the technology that he had when he did COD, Man Parrish I'm talking about, he wouldn't have needed John Carter from Down Off the Steps. But here you have a clear transition from this guy that they saying created our culture. He went downtown and took the stuff downtown, and look where he ran into. Trans Europe Express. Trans Europe Express. That's where he went to from 1977. Watch this.
We had done all this other music around it, which became Play at Your Own Risk. When I went home that first night, there was no rap. There were no raps on it, and it was a track with the beats and with these clavinet parts and the bass, and we just couldn't make it work with the rap. So as I said, we didn't use it until 6 months. And we were sitting on it, and we sort of forgot about it because the record did so well. You got the drums.
This is break dancing music. Y'all, what they call break dancing music. Y'all know it.
Okay.
The drums that come.
Okay, cool. Okay. With that stuff, with the flats.
Hey, butter, hey, butter, hey, butter, hey, butter, hey.
With the bass. You got the other clav, or is that? Yeah, here it comes. That up a bit. So we took this home and we were like, oh man, we've done something really cool. And the rappers hated this too, so we didn't use the clavinet.
The rappers hated this too. This is why this didn't last. This is why this didn't last. So once again, I'm going to put this up, right? I'm going to put this up for everybody before we move on. Breakdancing is not what you call or coined as hip hop and what hip hop means to you. Because what it means to you and what it means to me is two different things. I know that hip hop is misused, but breakdancing is from off of this electro music. It is from off of this electro music. Check it out. The rhythm and everything is already sped up. They've already jacked Trans Europe Express and Kraftwerk. They've already jacked it. So what we know as Planet Rock, right? They're telling us that the creator of our culture had to settle out of court for jacking Kraftwerk's music because he's an electro DJ. No. Watch this, y'all.
But that became Play at Your Own Risk. You want to put the piano in?
If you have a big vision for a great startup, then you need a great domain. It launches you with
Live.
So, I think I'll open up to questions because, I'd rather know what you guys want to actually know about than try to guess. So anyone have questions? I hope someone has to have it. Yeah.
The local effect on
Yeah.
what process?
Well, that was a PCM 41. That was the delay unit. And we just had a really tight slap on it. So it was a delay, but it was so tight that it just sort of flanged really. It was sort of using it as a flange. I mean, as I said, we didn't have a vocoder. We had really limited equipment. I mean, it was the best, but we didn't have tons of things. And I think that was one of the reasons that it came out so well, because we didn't have to make choices. We had limited, and we had limited time too. I mean, we had 8 hours to cut the track and to do the rap. And then obviously when the rappers couldn't do the rap, we got another 8 hours. And then we probably did the whole thing in like 25 hours from start to finish and the mix. And the mix, having the Neve board was, crucial because the low end on the bass and on the 808 was, and the bright, Neves that was the best board. And
since Toy's Boy's been acquired, do you know if there's now any further plans to re-release it?
Yeah, we are. I'm working with Reservoir, who bought the catalog. We're going to do quite a few things. Yeah, there'll be like there'll be an NFT drop on 808, August 8th. I'm working on that now. But yeah, we are doing a lot. They've just I've just gotten in touch with them, and they're really up for doing things. So it should be it'll be exciting. We're going to do some cool things with it. What's that? No. Well, it was a song. Whenever we've done remixes, they've never been as good as the original mix. But I'm open to having remixes done and seeing if people could bring out something different. In the movie, which people should try to find that movie. I don't know how many people have seen the 808 film, but we did a bunch of remixes at the time, and none of them were really. They're okay, but Paul Oakenfold famously did a remix for the movie Swordfish like 20 years ago. That was pretty good. He kept he kept to it, but he added more of a breakbeat type of thing. It was okay. But yeah. I'm up. The whole remix culture I love. It just usually the things don't come out great, but I'm open to hearing them.
Is there any communication during the creation of the track?
Yeah, not during the creation, but obviously once it came out, we got lawyers calls, and that first of all, we didn't sample anything, so the record label, the Capitol Law, their record label had no interest. They thought we sampled it, but when you listen, we obviously didn't sample. And what Tom did, which was genius, he just he paid them off. I think he had to pay them off $100,000, and then they have part of the publishing. But what Tom did was just up the list price, $1.
What? You telling me that the creator of the so-called creator of our culture, somebody has part of his publishing on Planet Rock? What? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding. That's crazy. This thing just constantly just gets worse, man. This story about all this stuff that's going on, and then these discussions and debate, it just gets nastier and nastier, and it gets worse and worse, man. The more we listen and the more we research, the more we find out that these guys are not creators and they are not innovators. We clearly have went to Trans Europe Express right now, and Play at Your Own Risk and Planet Rock and all of that. It's electro music, and guess what? Breakdancing is electro. Unbelievable, man. And I got something special right at the very end.
Because the record originally came out as $4.98 list, which meant it probably would sell in the stores for $2.99 for the 12, and then he upped it to I'd say $5.98, and then the price in the store went up 50 cents, which was not a lot at the time. And it was genius because it didn't end up costing anyone. The public sort of paid for it, but funnily enough,
you mean us. Yeah, you mean us. Yeah, the public paid for it. Yeah, you're right. Because we had to play the record at every party so the people could break dance for 15, 20 minutes. So we had to pay Kraftwerk because he jacked them. But you footed the bill. Ain't that something? The joke's on us, huh? He went and jacked Kraftwerk, but yeah, we had to pay for it because he said he was the Amun Ra of hip hop, huh? So this shit's incredible, man. This shit's incredible. The next song somebody come to me talking about that these guys created the genre, I'm gonna take a wet glove and I'm gonna get the slapping and talcum powder. This shit is crazy.
I worked with New Order. One of the reasons they said they worked with me is because that we upped the price. They had heard the story of us upping the price of the record, and they thought that was great. And I was like, no, that was Tom, you know, but he can't produce records, so. You know. What's that? Well, yeah, I mean, that was Peter Saville, man. They lost money on every record in the beginning. They literally lost money on every record. Well, back then, sampling didn't really exist. I mean, the Fairlight was a sampling synthesizer that you could sample like 1-2 seconds. I mean, there was no sampling, so it didn't even exist. So, I mean, the fact that they didn't, I don't even think they knew what they were talking about as far as that. You know, in retrospect, they probably didn't even think we sampled because it didn't exist. I mean, the technology at the time. And then about a year later, the AMS digital reverb was also a sampler, and you could get like 2 seconds in there. So we would use that for drum sounds. And then a year, maybe 6 months, the technology was changing really quickly, but the emulator came out, and then that was a game changer because you could sample quite a bit more and play it on a keyboard. And I started using that on IOU, and probably that was the first record I used the emulator on. But, you know, the technology, you know, you had to play everything. I mean, this was probably the first rap record that used drum machines. Before that, all rap records were played. You'd have to get a group in and play it. And, you know, and no one was sampling. This was pre-sampling. No one had a sampler.
With the equipment like the 808, do you have time to get to it? Would you have to figure out the session?
No time. No, what we did was with the 808, the programmer came and I was like, I want a cowbell, and he showed me the tap button. So I tapped it in, and we didn't sequence it at all. And to this day, I don't know how an 808 works. The only way I do it is I play it live. I play it with the tap button, and I can rock it definitely. But I never had the patience to find out and read the manual. Come on, Japanese manuals, forget it. No. So I didn't even try to do that. The Fairlight, we just went through sounds and like, what sounds you got? Boom, boom. There was like the explosion. We'll use that. And then when Tom Silverman hit the orchestra hit, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute, you know? So that was like, those were the two things. That's all we used on the Fairlight. I mean, they had a great grand piano, and all the piano was live. And yeah, I mean, it literally, we had no time we experimented in the playing, but, you know, it was more really intuitive what sounded good. And we were just winging it, you know. It wasn't, there were no plans. I mean, the plan was the beat. When I heard numbers, I thought that beat would so work with the rap on it. I didn't know what and I knew what the rap was going to be about, but all the hooks in the song, okay, all the cities, which I think, well, I don't know. We came up, I had always loved James Brown records that would mention different cities, right? So there's always loved James Brown records that would mention different cities, right? So I had always loved James Brown records that would mention different cities, right? So there's our list of cities, you know, New York, DC, Philly, Atlanta, Miami, Boston, crossing out Newark for some reason. I never noticed that, actually. Chicago, Detroit. We got Boston in there again, Chicago, Detroit, LA, Moscow, Tokyo, London, Peking, Trenton. Listen, we thought it was going to be an international record. We put Munich in there. We put in, you know, Lagos. We had like all these, we put in, you know, listen, we thought it was going to be an international record. We thought it was going to be an international record. We put Munich.
You mean Universal? You mean Universal? You mean you thought it was going to be a Universal record?
Listen, we thought it was going to be an international record. We thought it was going to be an international record. And we thought it was going to be an international record. We put Munich in there. We put in, Lagos. We had like all these, I thought, I have to be honest. My vision of it was way bigger than the group's vision. They thought, oh, we're getting in the studio, we're going to make a record. Once we started working on it, I did see the potential of it, and I did put in a lot. I did put in a lot of the hooks. I have to say, the whole thing, rock to the planet rock, and the cities was my idea. And
what?
Rock,
what?
And the cities was the whole thing, rock to the planet rock, and the cities was my idea. Rock to the planet rock, and the cities was my idea. Rock to the planet rock, and the cities was my idea. And rock to the planet rock, and the cities was my idea. And as a tribute to like James Brown, because he used to do all the cities in his record. So I thought that would be really cool. And it was a combination of all the people involved, for sure. It was like John Roby played amazing. His musicality stands out in that, and Bambaataa brought the vibe. It's funny, the party and Bambaataa brought the vibe. It's fun, stands out in that, and Bambaataa brought the vibe. It's funny, the party people is so iconic now. Last night I was at dinner, and this is a true story. I was at dinner, and after the dinner, there are people leaving, getting in the cab, and this guy, I don't know who he is. He's like, he said, "Party people," and I go, "Party people," and I go, "Oh, what do you mean?" I go, Planet Rock? Yeah, man. I produced it. He didn't even know. He was just using that to like get the party going. And I was like, whoa. I said, dude, you don't, and he couldn't believe it either. I had to like prove it to, whatever. But it was how iconic is that party people? And that's just one of the hooks. I mean, there's so many hooks of the Rocket No Stop It, all the cities, Tom always said it was a perfect storm, and it was the combination of all the people, the rappers, Tom, and that I went to the record shop and heard numbers, because if I hadn't heard numbers at that time, it would have been.
What did Bambaataa bring? Yo, do y'all hear this? Yo, this shit is crazy, man. This is berserk. He just said Bambaataa brought the vibe. Goodness, man. This is off.
And like a down tempo rap with they use the bass line from BT Express. I like it. And so it was you know, slow and a whole other groove. So it was, you know, the magic of that record was, but you know, those records back then, there was always like a magic to the ones that actually hit. The ones that hit had the magic. The others, nah, no magic. Any other questions? I could keep talking, but someone got to give me like a little. Good.
How much kind of like direction did you have to give you? Like, you know, the video said that these were some like young kids kind of, you know, dicking around in the studio. How much direction did you have to give as a producer to be able to get that rap?
Good point. Well, they had never been in the studio. It was like they went in and literally the way we had no photos of them jumping on, but for the film, I use a lot of animation for magic scenes the time of in the 80s. And they did. They did jump on the piano. They were out of control, and I just had to sort of go in and, you know, say, guys, come on, let's get to work. I mean, after that, yeah, I mean, you see them in the studio. They'd always fool around, but they were. I mean, we say they were kids, but they were like 5 years younger than I was. But you know, that difference was big at that time. You know, and
clearly they don't understand the music. They clearly are kids, never been in the studio before, don't know the music, don't know the terms, don't know that hip hop is a dance and it is not the music. There's a lot of problems here, y'all. These same people are the ones that's running around here right now with misusing all of these terminologies. It is very obvious, man. It is very obvious. It's very obvious. This piece of information right here is very telling, man. We're finding out that you know, part of the publishing is going somewhere. This dude produced it. He put mostly everything. All he said was Bam Bung was the vibe. So I mean, like, what the? Oh. Shit's crazy, man. Shit's crazy.
But you know, we're still all friends, and that was 40 years ago. So we've stayed. You know, we've had our ups and downs for sure. But I talk to the rappers all the time, to Biggs and Globe, and they're going to be involved in what I'm doing. You know, we're going to do some new lyrics for it. I mean, if it doesn't work, I won't do it, because you know it could be really bad, but you never know. It could be. It's again experiment.
That sound like money problems. That sound like money problem. This sounds to me like this is Mr. Planet Rock right here. Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. Who's really Planet Rock? He sound like he in control. And he looked like it too.
Hunting is what producing for me is all about. So, you know, now obviously back then I didn't have the control I do now. I could do it all myself. But the magic was I didn't have the control I do now. I could do it all myself. But back then I didn't have the control I do now. I could do it all myself. But back then I didn't have the control I do now. I could do it all myself. But the magic.
What? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. What? This shit is, yo. Goodness.
Magic was all the people. So it's sort of trying to get back to that way of creating records. Obviously, the last few years, it's been done online, but I think getting in the room, I mean, I always thought that the best records brought really diverse cultures together, which obviously, this had the technology from Japan and musicality from Germany and the street thing from the Bronx and, whatever my vibe was from where I came from. So I thought thing from the Bronx.
Oh my
and,
goodness.
and
Universal. Y'all hear this? Are y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear this? I need to know everybody's paying it. Put a 1 in the chat if everybody hear this. I need to know everybody paying attention, man. I need to see ones. It's crazy. There he is. There he is. Because I'm telling you right now, he's saying shit that yo, what? Does anybody know about this? I mean, the people that think that we have a creator of our culture, what? You don't even own Planet Rock. You don't own it. Somebody help me understand. This man he's controlling the needle. That's his thing. He ain't even worrying about if y'all can all get in the same room again. He said he could do it by himself. He got the control now. Yo.
From Germany and the street thing from the Bronx and, whatever my vibe was from where I came from. So I thought all that together sort of created something really unique. And
you're damn right it did. It created a narrative that everybody thinks that they created the culture. What? No wonder the Japanese are jumping in this damn thing. Yo, what? Why y'all ain't send this to me a long time ago? Yeah, this is preposterous. This is preposterous. Yo, this is why these people think they have something to do with something they ain't got nothing to do with. This shit is electro. This shit is. Y'all should be telling everybody in the South Bronx right now. Y'all should be telling everybody in the South Bronx right now, man, that the ref said that this shit is electro. Yo, listen, man. This shit went downtown and got into some electro shit. Yo.
And then after that, a lot of people started making records that were inspired by it, which to me was great because it created a lot of great, cool music and that whole electro scene in the 80s,
What? I know the hell he ain't. I know he ain't about to do it. Y'all listening? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all listening. I need another 1. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all listening because he's about to say something that I think he's about to say. I need to hear this shit. I need to hear what he about to say. Because I know he about to say something crazy.
It was a magic time, and that whole electro to me was great because it created a lot of great, cool music. And that whole electro scene in the 80s, a lot of great, cool music. And that whole electro scene in the 80s, created a lot of great, cool music. And that whole electro scene in the 80s, created a lot of great, cool music, and that whole electro scene in the 80s created a lot of great cool.
Is royalty in here? Is royalty here? Is royalty in here? Is royalty in here? Is China Black in here? Is royalty and China Black in here? Because this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Cool music, and that whole electro scene in the 80s, it was a magic time, and I think we made really cool music. So put it this way, it's so influential. Magic time, and I think we made.
This man has just identified the 80s as the electro scene. He's just identified it. He's just identified it himself. Not me. He did.
Really cool music. So put it this way, it so influences the sound now of rap and hip hop. That whole sound is the 808 sound. I mean, you don't rap and hip hop. That whole sound is the 808 sound. I mean, you don't
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
In the 80s.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Biggs. Is Biggs in here? Biggs. Listen. Are you listening to what he's saying? Are you listening to what he's saying? Are you listening at the distinction that he just made? Listen at the distinction that he just made. Listen.
It was a magic time, and I think we made really cool music. So put it this way, it so influences the sound now of rap and hip hop, that music. So put it this way, it so influences the sound now of rap and hip hop. That whole sound is the 808. Influences the sound now of rap and hip hop. That whole sound. This way, it so influences the sound now of rap and hip hop.
It so influences now the sound of rap and hip hop. So what was it then? It was electro. It was electro. Yo, man. Yo. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Yo, this is crazy, man. This right here. This is crazy. If it influenced rap and hip hop now, what the fuck was it back then? It wasn't nothing but electro. And you had the nerve to even make a separation between rap and hip hop because they didn't name it right. Yo, this is out. This is off the chain, y'all. This is off the chain.
That whole sound is the 808 sound. I mean, you don't hear anything but 808 inspired beats and sounds and all rap music. I mean, and pop music now too. I mean, anything Pharrell does. I mean, they're all. I mean, when you see the 808 movie, everyone should go try to watch it because it really tells that story, and it's really a cool movie.
AI is transforming customer service, and the leader is Finn. We win in all the benchmarks and the bake-offs.
Let me tell y'all something, right? He's trying to take James Brown out of the entire equation. Yo, this is crazy, man. It's crazy.
When you're producing now, do you try and limit yourself?
I try. It's really difficult, but I limit myself by my lack of really. I'm not that good with the gear, so I use I use Logic, and I use it like you would 20 years ago. I just use it like really. So I don't use all the functions, put it that way, and I don't have a lot of you know, I have a lot of plug-in sound things, but I always go back to the same sounds. And you know, I make music, or I was making music like every day. I always make music, and it's sort of like my meditation is sort of doing a track. But since I started the film that you saw 2 minutes of, it's a feature film, and I directed the film while I was producing a Rocker's Revenge new album. So I would not suggest anyone ever doing that. You know, you're in the studio trying to like think with your ears, and then you also got to be thinking with your eyes. And it was just not anything I'd ever do again. But the results are really good. When hopefully it will be out by the end of the year. Well, the first time I played it out at a record pool. I think it was like a Christmas party. The whole dates on Planet Rock, they say it came out in April, but I know that I played it at a record pool party during Christmas in New York at I think it was Judy Weinstein's record pool. And I remember playing it and people went nuts. Literally. It was just like instantaneous. What the fuck is that record? And then when we first cut the acetate, these are pretty good stories. When we first cut the acetate, Herb Powers was a mastering engineer. You know, he's the iconic guy. He did all the dance records and stuff, but he had never worked on a record that had it. It was the first record that used an 808, you know, and he didn't hear the subtones, and he's like pushing it. And he was doing the mastering on Yamaha speakers, small, and his 10s. And basically when we took it out, the first time we took it out to a record shop in New York called the Rock and Soul, we brought it in, and that was like the real shop to, you know, you test it out in the shop, you bring it in and try to prove to the buyer that it was going to sell. And we put it on and it blew their speakers. And the woman there, I think her name was Sylvia, she was so pissed off. But we brought it to Music Factory, the scene of the crime of me hearing the numbers, and someone came up when it was on, and someone came up and offered $100 for the acetate. So we were like, yo, we got a hit here, you know? And then I started taking out the clubs, and the clubs I'd take it to were the Funhouse, Danceteria, Paradise Garage, and you know, everyone played the, you know, back then I could bring a record in. Even I had a little success before it, bring a record in and they listen to it, put it on, you know, I mean, literally, you know, like nowadays people need a month with it. You know?
This is what Man Parrish did with Boogie Down Bronx. This is attention. This is what Man Parrish did with Boogie Down Bronx as well. They took it around to the clubs first because you had to sell it. You weren't paying attention to when it was coming out on wax. You took it around to the clubs first, and this is why it was jumping in the underground scene. That's why New York's underground scene is so large and so important to all musicians.
You know, to get it in a set. But back then, it was really, you bring in a record and they'd hear it and they'd be excited to play something new. And it took off like instantaneous, man. Like the Funhouse, it became like their anthem. And then all the other, as I said, would Play at Your Own Risk, that we didn't even think about, you know, because Planet Rock, the original mix, the vocal, the rap version, and then the instrumental, which was very different mix. And most people were playing the instrumental before they played the rap because rap was still new. And
do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Do you know why? Do you know why he's talking about the instrumental? That instrumental is all him. It's all him. He ain't got to share nothing with that instrumental because it's all him. It is all him. He can go somewhere and play that without the rap lyrics. You got to think about this for a second. If he takes that somewhere, he ain't got to pay nobody. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Listen at what he's saying.
and club DJs didn't really want to play the rap. So rap was still new, and club DJs didn't really want to play the rap. So because rap was still new, and club DJs didn't really want to play the rap because rap was still new, and club DJs didn't really want to play the rap. So
this is why they went downtown without Coke La Rock. Coke La Rock. If you're listening, this is why you didn't go downtown. Listen.
Rap was still new, and club DJs didn't really want to play the rap. So they were playing the instrumental, and then they flipped it over to the rap as rap got bigger, because before that it was like, you know, it was pre The Message. It was Rapper's Delight. It was like that kind of rap. There was nothing really that experimental. So we didn't really think about the music we had recorded, the other music. And then when we went back.
Yo. He has no clue. He has no clue about them DJs toasting and Coke La Rock in them. He's starting with Rapper's Delight. What you mean it wasn't popular? It was in the hood, in our culture. But somebody went downtown. Somebody took it downtown. Yo, this is absolutely bananas. Yo, this is bad right here, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is bad. This is bad.
Back in, I said, I'll do a mix for it. And I brought it to Jelly. As I said, I brought it to Jelly Bean, and the crowd went nuts because they hear the beginning. They thought it was the instrumental of Planet Rock. And then when all the other music came on, I have to say it was quite a moment. And then we went back and then we did the vocals. Any other questions? Okay, you got me for a few more minutes, guys. Come on. I'll answer any question. Was there something in the production that I thought I would never do it again?
No, in next production.
Well, I mean, the next, okay, good question. The next record I made was Walking on Sunshine by Rocker's Revenge. I did that more of a pastiche. It was like a mega mix. I was trying to do a mega mix, but doing it new and all re-recorded. And we used the orchestra hit. I mean, I used the orchestra hit. I killed that. I mean, basically it was in that. It was in IOU, the orchestra hit. Confusion, no. I New Order was not into the orchestra hit. But so I used, I repeated that. But by the time Planet Rock had such a long life through Planet Rock and then Play at Your Own Risk, that by the time we did our next record, which was Looking for the Perfect Beat, that Play at Your Own Risk sound had been so overused and so many people did tracks that were very similar that I thought we've got to go in a different direction. I didn't want to use the same beat and I didn't want to use the same sounds or anything. So we went in and that's why it's called Looking for the Perfect Beat, because we were like, I said, we're looking for a perfect beat. We already found the perfect beat. We're never going to find another perfect beat, but here's all these other really cool beats. And that's how the concept of that song came about. I mean, the pressure we were under to follow up Planet Rock, it was really heavy because it was such an iconic song and everyone was copying it. And I did not want to do another Planet Rock. I didn't want to do anything that there's no similarity really between the two. Like Looking for the Perfect Beat is, that's my favorite record of the three or the four I did with Soul Sonic because it's so fresh. You can't say that it's derivative of anything. It's just sort of another sound and very musical and very orchestral and the music arrangement and all of it and the rap. And, the records I made with Soul Sonic, I made 4 of them. And I think, I'm super proud of all of them. just because, you know, we never did it. The other thing is we never did an album at the time, which was literally insane because Tom had signed some deal with the group, and if he had done the album, he would have had to pay him like more than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like.
You went downtown and didn't get paid? Mary, oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Because Tom had signed some deal with the group, and if he had done the album, he would have had to pay him like more than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like years later. More than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like years later. More than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like years later. Like more than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like years later. More than he was paying him, and he never did an album until like years later. This compilation album, which, I mean, can you imagine having a record as big as Planet Rock, and then Perfect Beat sold 400,000? I mean, it sold a lot of 12-inch records, and then we didn't do an album, and we did Renegades of Funk, and that sold a lot too. And it just, there was never I mean, we only needed 5 more tracks. It's insanity. Looking back, like the missed opportunities in that situation were crazy. You know?
Yo. Hey, yo. This shit is crazy. This is crazy. Yo, you went downtown to get robbed. Yo, I can't even take this no more, man. He said that they didn't even do an album with him because they would have had to pay him more than what they was already paying him. And guess what? They don't even own the masters. These dudes had to pay Kraftwerk a little piece of dough, and then he said that they would go around paying the instrumental without the rap on it. Yo, this is crazy, man. Yo, you got to perform to get paid. That's the only money you got to have coming is you got to go perform. You got to go out and work. This dude is, all he got to do is just take it to a, yo.
Too, and it just, there was never I mean, we only needed 5 more tracks. It's insanity. Looking back, like the missed opportunities in that situation were crazy, you know?
Summer camp at Woodward, where play gets sweaty, sketchy, and real, where coaches push courage, not perfection.
No, I didn't worry, literally, because I went out and bought an 808. I bought one right away, and literally he didn't, I mean, we didn't use the composer on it. We literally had an A and a B section and 1 and 2. So we had like 4 different parts. And when we changed, there's only one change when it goes into, we can play it in a second. It goes into this other beat, which was from the record Super Sperm and Captain Sky. And it's where that, it's in the middle, probably right. Yeah, when it goes, it's a different beat. I think it's here. Yeah, right there. That's a different beat. So basically, we may have even punched that in. I'm not even sure. We may have been playing it and then, okay, the change, boom, you know. I think we may have done that. Or it would have been just one switch. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, I stopped using the 808 really quickly, and I think that was probably a mistake.
This shit don't belong to Bambaataa, man. If it's electro and it's his stuff, it don't belong to them. Yo, they don't even have to pay them because it ain't an album. Yo, you went downtown? You went downtown without Mario? Mario would have pulled out that blick blam. Yo, this is awful. Of all the things I've heard up to this point, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the absolute worst piece of information that I've heard thus far. Yo, man. Yo, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy.
I started using other drum machines because it obviously everyone was using the 808, so I figured let me try to use something different. And on Walking on Sunshine, I used the DMX, and the DMX was more. It was the DMX. It was the system. They put out a DMX, an Oberheim synthesizer, the OB8, and they had the sequencer. So it was literally something. I worked with Fred Czar on that, and that was meant to sync up and play. But it drifted. The drums and the keyboards, by the end, it drifted because we had MIDI. I think it was right in the beginning of MIDI, or maybe it was pre-MIDI, but there was a sync tone. I mean, all this stuff sounds so ancient now, but literally, on that record, by the end, it had come out of time, but I had a live bass player play on top of it and live percussion. So it made it feels live because it was breathing because of the technology screwing up, which was cool because it ended up working fine. Looking for the Perfect Beat had 808, and then Renegades of Funk, we had a bit of 808, but I really stopped using it because I used it on IOU and on Confusion, and it just sort of like became everywhere. And then when Jam and Lewis used it on SOS Band, I was like, oh shit, now we've been found out, we can't use it anymore. So anyone else?
Okta secures AI, so you'll feel good turning it loose to do its job, knowing the right controls are in place.
We all know college doesn't look one way anymore, and life's busy. You've got goals and a job, but getting a degree doesn't have to wait.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, American one for sure. There was some Japanese records that used it before. Yellow Magic Orchestra used the 808 like probably 6 months before, because I mean they obviously it was a Japanese instrument. They had it before we did, and they would have had it for free, and Roland and make.
There's the side door. There's the side door, y'all. No wonder these Japanese are trying to say that they was in hip hop. No wonder. When they in electro, this ain't hip hop. Yo, man, this shit is bad. This is bad.
Making the film 808, I got to go to Japan and meet Mr. Kakahashi before he passed away, and I interviewed him, and it was amazing because literally, check this out. So they have a museum, a Roland museum there, and they have every piece of gear. All the before the 808, they had a lot of gear, and he had worked at another company, so there were all these other drum machines. They gave me the keys to the place, and I said, I need an amp. I want to hook up these, because no one ever uses.
Didn't I tell y'all when the Caucasian man speaks, everybody listen? Didn't I tell y'all you can't mess with the Caucasian man's history? Haven't I been telling y'all that all along through this entire process? This man right here is holding the keys to the guy's collection that they coined as the Amun-Ra of hip hop. They don't even need his vocals on that stuff, man. This music can play. This guy can just play the instrumentals and get paid. He would out the raps. Yo. And they say, I ain't never got gaffled like that. Yo, they got straight gaffled. They got straight gaff. This what happened when you go downtown without the proper representation. You got gaffled. It ain't nothing they can do about it. Nothing. They got straight gaffled. Man, Paris Music is in Grand Theft Auto. It ain't no telling. Yo, when he was talking about that publishing and who owns what, yo, let me tell you something. This is, of all the things that I've heard, this is the worst. And watch what we end with.
This is the machines. I was like, give me that one, give me that one. Hooked it up, making beats, recording them, and I get to where the 808's meant to be, and it's not there. And I'm like going, oh, shit. I know what's going to happen. I go to his office. We have lunch, and I see there's like a red velvet thing laying on a table. And I'm like, okay, we have lunch. He goes over, pulls it up, and there's the 808. Make me a beat, you know? And I had to make beats for the guy who created the 808. And like with him standing right there, you know? And I think I got him dancing, you know, he was okay, but it was a great moment for me. And I felt really honored because he hadn't ever done that kind of interview. And I really worked. I mean, I worked on getting to see him. I mean, for a year, and the people at Roland actually couldn't believe he did it. I mean, they were like, he'll never do it. I go, no, keep asking. And then they had us go, and I flew over. I went to Japan for 2 days. It was my birthday. And I had to get back the next day. I couldn't, you know, we went in and we had this magic. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Now you know why the Japanese are trying to stay clean. Now you know why. Because somebody went downtown into an electro scene when it became an electro DJ and got all of these electro DJs now thinking that was the inception of our culture. Left Coke Rock behind because the electro DJs didn't think that the MCs were important. And the MCs are having problems getting paid with this gentleman here. Because he just said that he don't even really need them on there to do a project, really.
Amazing day. And then he passed away a year later. And the thing is, the guy was so funny. He had lived in America for so long. He lived in LA a lot. And he was like the first person I ever knew who was, well, no, actually that's not true. He was the type of guy. He was like a creator, an inventor, but he also was a great salesman. So when you think about Steve Jobs or people like that who can do that, he was very similar to that. You know, he really, you know, was a creator, and yet he could also get up and tell jokes and really, he was an amazing guy. Anyone else? You got one? Anyone? Done? We done? I don't know if the last chance for questions. I guess we're done. You can. Why don't we? You can play some more of the record as we go, I guess.
Yo, listen, let me tell y'all something, right? Right? This right here, right? This right here ain't electro. This ain't electro right here, y'all. Okay, listen, I'm gonna show y'all something, right? The Caucasians were the first guest of our culture. We're finding out that this guy went downtown to an electro scene. He went downtown to an electro scene, and that whole electro vibe went electro. And guess what came with it? Breakdancing. Breakdancing is breakdancing. What they call breakdancing is electro. To electro music. That's what that is. to electro music. It's not like this.
They go and stumble on the mark.
So,
They got shouting again. I can stop running again. This ain't no life for them to lead. In her mind, she knows she has to let him go. In the children's eyes, she sees the fear inside. How does she tell him that he won't take it now? This ain't no life for them to lead. Well, it's too late, yeah, now. Too late, ooh, now's my time to go. Too late, yeah. Too late, oh.
let me tell y'all something, right? They were the first guests of our culture in partying. And that's why they know how to dance. We all know that other cultures don't dance like us. Not when it comes to the soul. You can find some white boys out here that can cut a rug. But you can all but the ones that wasn't down with our culture, they can't dance. That's why we always found it odd that we ran across a lot of Spanish people that couldn't dance. They couldn't dance. It was weird. It was weird. But I'm going to just tell y'all, right? I'm going to just tell y'all, right? Check this out. Check this out. We're going to make a declaration today. How about that? We're going to make a declaration today because I saw, I hear we done found out that they done went downtown and they got robbed on top of that. You went all the way downtown just to get robbed? Man, what? They went downtown just to get robbed. Who does that? Who does that? You gotta be kidding me, man. Like that, it ain't nothing cool about that. You're supposed to go down, if you're going downtown, you're supposed to go downtown to hold it down. You ain't supposed to be going down there to get robbed. Who does that? Who does that? So we're going to make a declaration today. So since there seems to be a discrepancy on this word boogie and all the boogies and all of that, this, that, and the third, well, we're convinced more now than ever of what boogie means. Okay? We're more convinced now than ever, right? So since we all know that music, right? We all know that music went downtown. Hey, Biggs, you with me, Biggs? DJ Biggs in the building. Where's everybody? The Mighty Hebrew, Brother Nasir. Y'all, hey, listen. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all ready for this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all ready for this. The Most High. Okay, I can see the chat now. The Most High. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all ready for this. Bet. So, we declare that after finding out that these boys done went downtown and got their asses robbed, right? They done went downtown and got their asses robbed and took this electro scene downtown, and things went electro in the 80s after we heard from this guy. Who would have thought? We never knew it. Well, everybody was talking about this word boogie, right? We told y'all that Man Parrish claims it. We told y'all that we told y'all that this group is honored for coining the term Boogie Down Bronx. This is Man Parrish, an electric group under Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk were their idols. Okay, they wanted to be like Kraftwerk. And who wanted to be like them? Africa Bambaataa. So after he went downtown, right, with his electro, they came back with the electro boogie. So what's the electro boogie? What's the electro boogie, y'all? Let's find out. I know I'm gonna get a strike, but so what?
For the trouble, 2 for the time. Come on, y'all, let's
Electric boogie, break dance, electric boogie. Do y'all hear this? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear this.
Yes, you say. I'm going home.
Freeze. And then what?
Spin on your back and spin on your knees. Spin on your hands and then freeze.
Okay, we freeze. Spin on your back, stand on your head, get on your head, and just freeze. Right?
Electric boogie. Electric boogie. Electric boogie. Electric boogie. Electric boogie.
Do I need to say anything else? I don't believe I need to say anything else. I don't believe I need to say anything else.
Electric boogie. Electric boogie. Electric boogie. Electric boogie.
The only electric boogies that was going down in the Bronx, the boogie down Bronx, because somebody brung it back there. Somebody went downtown and brung that shit back there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode because we don't need to say anything else. That's going to conclude this episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. Breakdancing ain't no damn hip hop. That shit is electro. And we out. Peace.